Tonight we're going to have a look at a radio that's just come my way. It's actually a very interesting radio and very hard to come by in Australia. It's the General Electric 7990A. I'm pretty sure that's the number. A lot's been said about these radios in the past, and they're certainly derived from the Panasonics of a similar ilk, namely the Panasonic RF2600 or the RF2800 or the RF2900. They're all very similar in some respects. The primary differences, of course, with the General Electric is the slide rule dial. Quite an impressive slide rule dial there. Whereas the Panasonics have sort of like a drum dial arrangement. Alright, well, let's have a look at this radio. Now we've got quite a large speaker here, as you can see. Let's move up here towards the dial. I'll just turn the dial light on so you can see it a little bit better there. Quite nice dial lights there. You can see we've got an FM band, standard FM band, 8808 megahertz, AM broadcast band from 530 to 1600 or just over 1600 kilohertz, and then 4 shortwave bands. Pretty well continuous coverage from 3.5 megahertz up to probably nearly 32 megahertz, actually. Quite an unusual sort of range, the upper range there. But bearing in mind that these radios were sort of very popular to get the then CBers listen to the CB bands of the era. So let's move on. Over here we've got quite a good signal strength meter, and here we've got a digital display. Now I'll just turn the digital display on. Nice blue fluoro display there. This one's got an unusual fault in it, in as far as that on shortwave the digital display is exactly 30 kilohertz above the actual true frequency. So I'd like any comments about this in the below, if you wouldn't mind. On medium wave it's spot on. So I know there's a shortwave calibrator here, and it's actually to the maximum adjustment there, which makes it 30 kilohertz. If I adjust it the other way, it actually goes up to around about 60 kilohertz above the actual indicator frequency. So that's an interesting thing. Okie doke. We've got on-off switch, and you can toggle between DC or AC. You've got, as I said there, you've got the digital display. Again, you can toggle it on and off on either DC or AC. Again, with the dial lights, you can toggle between AC and DC and turn it off, and AFC, of course, for when you're listening to FM. We've got the volume control here, separate bass and treble controls, RF gain control, and BFO adjustment there, BFO on-off switch, and a bandwidth, either wide or narrow. Not a terrific difference between it, but nonetheless it's there. Massive tuning knob there, and as I said before, there's a shortwave calibrator. Theoretically that should be pretty well in the centre of its travel, and you can adjust it slightly either way, but in this case there's a discrepancy there. I'll have to look further into it. So again, if you've got some comments, please leave them below. Here's your main wave change switch. This doesn't have a carry strap, which is available with the Panasonics, but it does have these two front handles here. large telescopic antenna. On the top of the radio there you can see a world time chart and a listing of the main sort of frequencies there. It's a fairly hefty radio actually, so I'll just turn this around while trying to hold on to the camera, so just pardon me for 2 seconds. Yeah, there we go. You've got external antenna connections there, and here's your battery box there, and it also serves as the box for your AC cord. Here you can adjust the AC line voltage between 110 and 220 volts AC. Here in Australia it's normally supposed to be 230 volts and it ranges a fair bit, so I can possibly run it off 220, but I wouldn't like to leave it on any great length of time. There you can see some detail about it, and model number. Sorry, I had the model number wrong. It's a 7-2990A, and there we are. So nothing on this side of the radio. I'll just turn that around. As you can see, it's quite a hefty radio, as I said before, and I overlooked the fact that you've got an earphone socket there and a record out socket there. So there we go, let's have a listen. We're on Aussie radio, 5045 kilohertz. It's probably just drifted slightly there. And again, you can see that's. Now I'll just turn that off there, because obviously there's music playing, so it won't leave it on that frequency. Just change bands there and have a tune up if I can find something. Plenty of Chinese stations. Anyway, give you a bit of an idea. So I won't tune it for too long there, because I've only got a minute or so left. Alright, I hope you've enjoyed this video of one that I've just picked up, and a hefty radio, great audio, and a lovely radio to play with. Till next time, cheers.